Good morning, Mr. Robinson here. I had a good weekend. You probably already know that. The weekend is over, though. Okay, the weekend is over. The workday has begun. So, hey, let's get time. It's time to work. Now, this is the last lesson I'm going over for you guys before the test on the imperialism era. So, make sure you pay attention. The information you need for the assignment is also, I'm going to go over that as well. So let's go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get into it. America as a world power. Teddy Roosevelt. All right. Now we've already studied Teddy Roosevelt a lot, but you're going to need to know him for this because there's something called the Roosevelt corollary. Teddy Roosevelt. The things we studied was him as a progressive president doing those changes in America to change America politically, economically. All right, we're breaking up big businesses. Those things. We also looked at him as he was a hero of the Spanish-American War. There's something called the Roosevelt corollary I'm going to get into, but first, so he mediated a settlement of war between Russia and Japan in 1905. Now, he wins the Nobel Peace Prize for this. I'm still looking for my Nobel Peace Prize. I haven't received it yet. But all jokes aside, this is kind of the irony of Teddy Roosevelt. He's a war hero. He comes to fame leading those Rough Riders in the Spanish American War, yet then he wins the Nobel Peace Prize later for negotiating a settlement. So there's some irony in that. But moving on, some more from Teddy Roosevelt. Something else he did as president. The United States decided to build this canal through Panama to shorten navigation routes between the Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Pacific Oceans. So rather than going around South America, they just said, well, we can build this canal through Panama and go straight shot right through Panama like that. It's going to be a lot quicker because trust me, my first deployment, for whatever reason, we decided to sail around South America, and it took 4 months. Of course, we stopped and did some training and stuff, but this is what happens with the Panama Canal. So going through the land there in Central America, Colombia, the country of Colombia, owned the area where the canal was built. They wouldn't sell it to the United States. So what the United States did, all right, being kind of dirty players, the United States organized a rebellion in Colombia with the Panamanians, and Panamanians got the land, and then so the United States got control of the land that way. So, like I said, basically, the United States organizes a rebellion in Colombia so Panamanians can get control of the land, and then the United States, in effect, gets control so they can build the canal through Panama. It takes 10 years to build this canal because they have to go through mountains and stuff building the canal. I mean, it takes a while when you're carving out earth. It says ill tensions still remain between the United States and Latin America. Now, this is kind of the beginning of the United States' involvement in Latin America, which we're going to see happens, well, not the beginning because they had already been involved in Cuba. This is a big event, and we're going to see it further escalates throughout the 20th century, even into today. So ill tensions still remain with the United States giving Panamanians independence in order to build a canal through Colombia. Roosevelt corollary. This is what the assignment is on. Essentially, the Roosevelt corollary was Teddy Roosevelt adding on to that Monroe Doctrine. If you remember what the Monroe Doctrine was from American History 2, remember it was basically James Monroe, the fifth president of the United States, saying he was telling European countries to stay out of the Western Hemisphere. This is Teddy Roosevelt adding on to that. Basically, the United States will use force in Latin America. Well, why? Because the United States is involved economically in Latin America at the time. So Playing with my money is like what? It's like playing with my emotions. All right. I'll be back in a second. All right, I'm back. So I had to spin my gum out. So playing my money, that's like playing with my emotions. Okay. So America is being involved economically in South America or Latin America. Uh, they're telling Europe stay out. All right, because this is our land, our territory, not necessarily our land, but this is where we are making money, and we don't want you coming in disrupting us making money. Does the United States still do similar practices? Well, yeah, but all across, not just Latin America, all across the world. Okay, that's why the United States is really involved throughout the world because of money. Here's a political cartoon. So if you look at this cartoon here, this is a good example. So you have Republic of Santo Domingo, which is now the Dominican Republic, and you have the person there who's supposed to represent a citizen of that era, that territory, that country, and he's kind of just sitting there on his island and doesn't really know what to think or what to do. And you have Europe, there's a monarchy in Europe, kind of reaching over, maybe trying to have some influence on this gentleman that is a citizen of the Republic of Santo Domingo. But what is Teddy? That's Teddy Roosevelt up there. What's he doing? Well, he's got a cannon pointed at Europe with, and on the cannon it says Monroe Doctrine. So he's using this Monroe Doctrine to reinforce American power in the Western Hemisphere. Okay, he's using the Monroe Doctrine as a means of reinforcing or having more American power in Latin America. This is also going to be on the test. Dollar diplomacy. So Teddy Roosevelt's successor, which we already looked at this before, as far as who his successor was, William Howard Taft, took a different approach to foreign affairs. None of this is really. There will be maybe a question about what was his the type of diplomacy he used was dollar diplomacy, but using economic powers to exert influence over other countries. So he wasn't necessarily as strong with the military side, with American influence on the military side as Teddy Roosevelt was, but he used a more economic or dollar approach towards getting influence in Latin America. U.S. banks help governments of Latin America and U.S. exports increase into the region. So, kind of a pro-business approach to Latin America, but it also still had the same effect as far as helping keep European influence out of Latin America. So, Taft did it in a different manner than Teddy Roosevelt did. Wilson, there's nothing going to be on his missionary diplomacy, but again, this is important for the next unit. He thought the United States had a moral obligation to ensure democratic principles. So not only this in Latin America, but we're going to look at later once the United States starts getting involved in Europe in something called World War One. He uses that as a reason for the United States to get involved. That the United States need to get involved to spread democracy to these nations in Europe and elsewhere abroad. Problems in Mexico. So this has to do with some of Wilson's presidency. There in Mexico, what happened was the Mexican Revolution broke out and the United States intervened. So there was a guy in Mexico, Pancho Villa. He was kind of causing problems for the United States. The United States, Pancho Villa basically was raiding the United States border, southern United States, southwestern United States. He was raiding that area. The United States sent in one. They sent the United States Marines. So what did I tell you about when they send those guys in? Doesn't end well for the other guys. The United States goes in. The United States Marines go in. The United States means business at that point. Business is about to pick up. Also, General John Pershing, 15,000 soldiers into Mexico to find Pancho Villa. There's just a clip of it. So that's kind of what's going on in Latin America. You have three things here we looked at. One, three different type of approaches. One, you have Teddy Roosevelt building the Panama Canal, and then also saying America will use its military to keep other European powers out of Latin and Central America. His successor, William Howard Taft, is using a different approach. In fact, he's loaning money to these South American and Latin American countries to also increase American economic influence there as well. And then Woodrow Wilson is actually trying to expand democracy into Latin and Central South America. As later we're going to look at, he does in World War I as well. So the assignment is on the Roosevelt Corollary, because this is probably, it's the one I see most of the time on the final exam, is that we just looked at, the Roosevelt Corollary. So basically you can use this video, you can use a PowerPoint, but really it's just a reading from the Roosevelt Corollary, and you have to answer questions about it. So now look, after this week, this is like the midway point in the semester. So after all the grades and stuff from this week are going to go on the first quarter. So make sure if you're missing any assignments that we get all that stuff in. Now Wednesday, I'll put this on Canvas. I'm holding a Google Meet, and it'll be from 12 to 1. So if you have any questions, email me, sign into that.